Hello everyone, and welcome to Dragon Quest Monsters 2. So, yeah, we're playing Kobe's version, not Terra's version, because there is a couple differences. Most importantly, the second last fight before the boss is completely different from between each game, and it's easier in Kobe's version. Although it is still the hardest fight in the game. So the intro of this game is 3 minutes long, and luckily it is shorter than most Dragon Quest intros. Another thing about the text is that we use the slowest text because it is the fastest text. Because mashing in this game is better than just going through the text itself. Like Seabravely said, this game is also probably the safest Dragon Quest game to speedrun, or Dragon Quest series game. Although there can be some bad luck, especially with natures and such. I also don't have the greatest mic in the world, so all inputs are heard. I am playing on a Super Nintendo controller attached to my PC. So yeah, the story goes, Wadabu and the prince destroy the plug, and we have to find a new plug to save Great Tree. So we go questing through different lands with magic keys to find items to plug the hole. Alright, so here I'm gonna pick up a herb from my mom. Thank you, Mom. And also pick up a pork chop from my dad. Thanks, Dad. So oddly enough, I always get an encounter on my first 3 steps. And I'm going to save here just so I don't mess up. There is the odd chance that you can get crit. Alright, that's really good. And I need to change the text speed as well, because I totally forgot to do that. I think this time's name is still Splash. So here I'm picking up a herb and a piece of meat. We're supposed to collect 3 monsters so we can continue the story. This is the part which can be kind of annoying, because if you don't get your first 3 monsters before you hit the town, then you have to farm, essentially, and it's kind of a waste of time if you don't get it in the first couple shots. So if this Khaki Ball joins me, this could be pretty decent, with some luck. Or not. Alright, so the first shop here, we're gonna buy 3 herbs, 3 pieces of meat, and a chimera wing, I think. And I'm going to save here, just in case. So we're gonna try and catch Spooky here. This is 2 worms is the worst thing you can see here as well. Alright, so now we have a party of 3 and we can enter the King's Chamber. Honestly, this is kind of one of my favorite parts of the game, just because it's nice to see the monsters dancing around. I think it's adorable. So the king's gonna ask us to look around town and see what the townsmen are complaining about. And I'm gonna go talk to this girl. By the well. This is a glitchless run. was advised by the melon to do a glitched run, but unfortunately I did not have time to learn it, although it would have been really simple. And to be honest, I do enjoy glitchless runs because it's kind of nice to see how you can really outsmart the game. Or like, not really outsmart, but manipulate the game to your liking. Alright. So we can use this battle to heal, since it is faster to heal in battle than to go into a menu. Oh, now you want to join me. Alright, so I'm going to save here because we need to catch a mad candle. Here we're going to pick up another pork chop, if we can reach it. Only 2 worms. Oh, good. Wow, that worked out. So with 2 pieces of meat, we have a pretty high chance of catching it. Hopefully it joins us, because otherwise, usually the odds aren't very pretty, and I'll have to reset. I should have used the second piece of meat, and it didn't. Let's try one more. Yes! Okay, we have a run. Alright, and now we can start beavering with no problems. So he's not very dangerous. He can charge up to do double damage next turn, but yeah, like just like that. But usually it's not really risky. And 5, 5. So it's also not that bad having someone die here, because I also find it useful that the EXP is split. Also, a level 5 slime does a lot more damage. Mad Candle Root. As nice as it is having the slime around. Having Whistle is just really useful in my opinion. These encounters. Getting an encounter isn't bad either, because right after I leave this well, I'm gonna heal regardless. And I do have a good amount of herbs, so I'm not really worried about dying anywhere. So the king's gonna take us to give us a reward, but oh no, his treasures have been stolen. So I'm gonna go talk to this guard in prison here and give him a piece of meat. And he will give me... You know, actually I don't know what he gives me. He gives me an item to refill the water at the pond. That's what he does. Alright, just for safety's sake, I will save again. Best case scenario is that something joins me on the way to the next boss fight. And what do you know? Alright, so far so good. So this is another fight where I don't mind if the worm dies. I forget what the thing's name is. Tail Eater. The Tail Eater does. I'm more worried about the other staying alive. So Crystal can cast Upper and he can attack. We don't want to cast Upper because more defense is bad. That worked out. However, Mad Candle still does a lot of damage. So there's not much to worry about. And I have 4 herbs, so regardless I will win this fight, unless he crits. As you can see, having the higher levels from having the 2 monsters that Beaver is really handy because it does like no damage. And you're having 2 of your strongest members fighting as opposed to having 1 weak member. Nice crit. Also, nice crit. That was pretty good. So if I have a level 6 slime, usually I do not recruit that Crystal. It's a waste of time. But slime is... a level 5 slime is bad, a level 6 slime is great. So I'd rather take a level 6 slime over Crystal and Crystal over a level 5 slime. Alright, here's our first item. And, of course, it does not work. So, Waterblue will have, or Warblue will have to plug up the hole again. And now, I will be heading back into the desert with the desert key. So the reason why we're going back is because there is an item in the well called the Wind Staff. Oh hey, what's that? Was that? What? 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 Is this a thing? So what I just picked up there is a friend staff. I didn't even know friend staffs could even show up there. Wow. Okay, that's pretty amazing. So yeah, friend staffs double your attack for 1 monster, which doesn't sound like much, but it is incredibly good for later on fights, because it can turn 6 turn fights into 3 turn fights. Yeah, that is a 1% chance. That is incredible. I also don't pick up the bookmark there because it's just faster to buy it regardless in the ocean world anyways, so usually I buy 3 bookmarks, but for this run I will be buying 5 bookmarks. For safety's sake. Also, running away in this game is usually not the best option. Unless your monsters are really high level, you will usually end up getting stuck in fights. So most of the time you want to fight it anyways. Alright, so we are now done with the desert world. And we're gonna head off and do a tournament for the Ocean Key. I'm pretty sure with this party it is also impossible to lose this tournament. I don't think I've ever seen anyone lose a run to the tournament fight. For the tournament. Alright, so coming up is our first RNG manipulation. So I think how it works is from the start of the game starts the random number generator, and you can, if you mash fast enough, you can have the item set to a certain way you want it on the map. So here we're gonna manipulate for a world leaf. Should be right up here, and there it is. So we manipulate 2 of these. And usually we don't want an encounter there. So 2 world leaves sell for 800 each for a total of 1600. Which is particularly useful for the start of the game, definitely. So we can buy some ribs and still works. Alright, so look for this. And a worst manipulation ever. That's pretty good fight. So we also have to catch a mad gopher and a army ant to continue the story. So usually I try to get them before I reach the town that we're heading for, because I like to do a manipulation there. Alright, so Mad Gopher is down. Just need an army ant. And there it is. That's pretty good luck too. Alright, so like the magic doors, you can manipulate the RNG using ins as well. So once you use an in, the timer resets just like the magic doors. So here I'm going to be, after I do my bind, I will be manipulating for another friend staff. Alright. And there it is. So we need an octokid, and I'm going to be using a bookmark on the water so that we can get an octokid. This is the other reason why we like to use Mad Candle throughout the game, is because it knows Whistle. Oh, there's the counter too. And a crit. Beautiful. That's all I wanted. Alright, goodbye slime. Thanks for the help. And I'm going to remember to talk to this old man now. Because I don't know how many times I have lost runs from forgetting to go into the inn or bar afterwards. Yeah, this is a surprisingly good run. So he needs to see a monster that knows a dance. And we have this Octo Kid that knows Uber Dance. Is it Uber Dance? It is Uber Dance. So I'm gonna change the order around here. Encounters. Very good. Okay, this is good. The scariest thing is getting an encounter on the water, because the monsters up here are really strong. So we're gonna go to this ghost ship and beat some people up. This area is also the reason why we buy so many herbs. Oh no. So we use a holy water here, just to avoid any encounters on the way to Dead Pirate. I'm also going to use a bookmark here because this fight can be kind of dicey. make it work. Actually, I think we need like XP too. Alright, so I have no choice but to use my Waluigi. It's much better that he hits level 10 before we finish this area, because I need to breed him later. Alright, that was a decent fight. This does make the cave a bit scary though. So in this cave we're going to try and catch a Darkrai, a female Darkrai, because we need to breed it with our Beaver in here to make it Grizzly. And here we're picking up another Holy Water for later on. It should run out right before I hit the stairs. And I will be saving before the staircase, just so I can attempt this since I only have one lead. So there are certain encounters with the Darkrai can give you can guarantee a female Darkrai. Most of the encounters up on this part of the cave can give you a female Darkrai. I think this one does. Let's go for it. Shoutouts to Hide Sugar for figuring this out, by the way. I don't have my notes up, but I'm just going to assume that most of these, or I'm just going to assume that this one's okay. Usually if there's an evil one, it should be fine. Oh, no way! Okay, so that is one encounter I should stay away from. Oh, I think this one's guaranteed. There you go. And for safety reasons, I will be taking this dart drive with me. So the encounters in this cave can be pretty bad, especially since you have to walk over the lava to get some of the items up ahead. One of them is a World Dew, which heals your entire party fully. And the second one is a... I'm not sure what the second one is, but we sell it for a lot of money later on. Oh, okay. See, this is a pretty bad fight. No. Also no. Yes, okay. Alright, so we made it. Nothing wrong. That's the end of Ocean World. So it turns out his henchmen were monsters and attempt to steal the treasure. So we save the prince and take the mirror, and we use it as a plug. But of course a simple mirror will not do the trick. So now we're going to go back and grab 3 monsters to take with us. One is the ant. One is the gopher. And we're gonna pick a back candle again. Best menus. Okay. So we give the Mad Gopher to death, and he gives us a tiny medal, which in this run is completely worthless and waste time. And the ant goes to this merchant here. He gives us the key to high school. So we're going to throw away that tiny medal. And now we start breeding. First up, we're going to breed Octo Kid with this Scorpion. I don't know what it's called. Centipede? Armorpede. That's right. And we're going to fuse to form a Aquarelle. Second up, we're going to have our champ, our great defender, our beast in heat, Grizzly, master of taking things down. So the reason we use Grizzly is because it has one of the highest attack stats in the game. And this will be obviously seen later on. Alright, welcome to Ice World. So first of all, we're going to equip Grizzly with the Warrior Ring. And do another manipulation here. No, that's bad. That's also bad. The down button on my controller isn't the greatest. Oh, hey. It actually worked. So that one has a chance of not working, and usually the French staff doesn't show up. Oh, okay, and there's a misstep as well. That's pretty good. And we made it to the town without any encounters, which is even better. So what I'm going to try to do here is get Grizzly and Aquarella to a pretty decent level, just so they don't die. That was a misstep. I did the same thing. Alright. Come on, one monster. That is not one monster. Two monsters are reasonable, 3 monsters are pretty much suicide. And this is perfect. Also, in the best case scenario, you want your Mad Cancel to die, which is weird enough. It's only really here to provide the ability to use Whistle. And there's also a lot of leveling, so get used to hearing this sound. That should do it. And this should be a potion. Oh. So the main reason we do this manipulation here is because of this sirloin up here that we give to Mad Candle. It's kind of important because later on you're going to need to go through a gate with, and all the monsters need 0 wild. So it's very important that, especially Mad Candle, since he has such a high wild stat, that we get him down. Stop forgetting things. This run can go sour really fast. So I'm gonna hope here that my Mad Candle dies, because having the extra experience is great, especially for the later fights. And perfect. Okay, cutting it kind of close. probably gonna have to warp out and go back to town. Now Grizzly's dead. Yeah, I have to reset. That was kind of a rough encounter. I didn't expect rolls to hit so hard. Yeah, I definitely should have leveled up one more time before entering that cave. Grizzly should be hitting for like 60 damage by that point. It wasn't necessarily a bad fight, I just forgot to heal beforehand, so I would have fought it, but yeah, forgetting things happens. Anyways, we shall continue onward. Right, so that's okay. So we're gonna hope that Candle died again. Okay, no, that worked out. Also, if my menus go crazy like that, it's mostly because I'm mashing the control pad to go through the text. So although it looks odd, it's certainly for a good reason. now Grizzly has 120 health as opposed to the previous 80 or so. We should be doing more damage now, so these parts aren't as worrisome. Okay, cursed. We don't take any risks. That paralysis? That was a good crit. Mystery Pokemon, the Dragon Warrior Monster games, they're the only in the Dragon Quest series, I think, that don't really rely on Metal Slime Dragon. In Dragon Quest Monsters 1, you kind of do. That is also the worst move Grizzly can use at the beginning of the game. That is also why Dragon Quest Monsters 2 is the easiest to get into, because you don't really have to rely on grinding, everything is on the way. Alright, so we're gonna fight Bomb Crag here. Just gonna heal up a bit. So here's where I use my one of my friend's staffs. This fight should be 3 turns. Actually, that's not bad. You don't really need Aquarella to level up that much. So now we go back to town. Egg Devil can be bad, or Silver Devil. He can confuse party members, I think. Oh no, he puts him to sleep. I don't think he confuses. Cupshare confuses. So the king was locked in the basement, and this fake king is also up here, and he turns out to be a Silver Devil. Always forget that you need 3 party members for the next one too. Melon, I don't know what I'd do without you. This run is doing something. So also with reviving Mad Candle, it is kind of risky because it does have really low health and the chance of dying is pretty high. So we don't really try to fight anything on the way there. To the next time. Also, this is the second time that we get to watch our monsters dance. We're gonna head to the forest. think it's her soul or something is lost. This area can also be really bad because it has shadows. And the shadows can use beat, I believe. Which can be horrific if it gets you grizzly. Also, the reason why I take water here, because it's slower, is the encounters are kind of dangerous, and on water the monsters aren't really that strong, so I just prefer going over the sea for the encounters. Alright, we'll save here just in case. So here's dead. And now we're heading up to the mountain to grab some blue flowers, I believe. Here's where we use our second holy water that we picked up in Ocean World. That's not healing. Okay. Yeah, so my Aquarella isn't the biggest fan of healing. Thankfully, there's only one fight left here. Okay. So this should go a lot better because I have twin hits now. Alright, that's the end of Ice World. So we throw the metal into the well and voila. Just hoping we have a really nice skyroad. Right, so we're gonna go talk to the king. And he will be giving us a sky key, I believe. There we pick up a thing that increases defense, I believe. Alright, so we're going to fuse Aquarella with a Spiky Boy to form a employees. So the reason we use employees is because it learns this skill at level 22, which is very useful against the final boss. And we're gonna fuse Grizzly here with a Wild Leap to form another Grizzly. So oddly enough, when you fuse a monster holding an item, the item that the monster is holding goes to your bank. So I have to go and pick up the Warrior's Ring from the bank to give back to Grizzly. I forgot to sell things. One of these guys, let's... There you go. Alright, now that we have funds, we can go get our fun toys. Sadly, the world is cruel and breeding is not free. We're all set for Skyward. So again, we're gonna have to level. It's kind of risky. Another manipulation. So Skyward manipulation is the exact same manipulation I use in high school. Oh, this is perfect. hit it, I can't revive them. Oh god. Oh, that was pretty horrible. Luckily, the good thing is they did kill my night candle. Or I think I need night candle to open the door. So I'll have to come back for a moment. Hopefully we can have him dead very soon. It's a very sad life to be night candle in Dragon Warrior Monsters 2, unfortunately. See, even at level 8, Grizzly is extremely powerful. So bad news, treasure chest gets stolen. And we have to leave with just one item. I'm gonna talk to this tombstone and get a change step from behind this monstrous tombstone. this manipulation is pretty cool. You get to pick up 4 World Duke? It's not World Duke. I forget the name. Either way, they sell for 16. They sell for 1,600 each, and it's pretty good money in your pocket. These things have like trucks. And here we get another friend stat. Very friendly. Especially the short bounce. Change into the skull route here, otherwise we can't continue. Yellow, yeah, first try. So we're going to put down the door there, so we'll be coming back there later. So in this cave, this is probably the only metal slime we fight in the entire game, and it's required to beat the game, so it doesn't really count. But it is really good because you get pretty good levels off of it, so it's nice to have in the run especially. Apart from a couple boss fights, there isn't much else going on, so it will be pretty dull. Most of this area is movement, so there's not much to look forward to, except a lot of puzzles. So let's hope we get this first try. Second try. Oh cool, not bad, not bad. Yeah. So the next area is pretty nice break. And 22. Alright. This is where we learn Geyser. Best move in the game. And so he just leaves. He's a nice slime. Alright, off to the next area. Yeah, so here's the infamous cloud puzzle. It is one of the more especially boring parts of the run, but it is a nice breather. So now's a good time to use the bathroom, grab some popcorn, maybe start a new file of Dragon Warrior Monsters 1. Unfortunately, they fail. I do not. The only things I know about this game are how to start it and how to end it. Everything in between is a blur. So fun fact, I never did beat this game as a kid. Nor neither did I beat Dragon Quest Monsters 1. But that was the other reason why I started speedrunning this game, was because I thought it was super cool that it was actually possible to beat these games within 3 hours. Because I couldn't do it as a kid. Which is why I tried to learn the speedrun. It's definitely a challenging game if you don't know what to do. Now comes an extremely difficult puzzle. Alright, that was pretty tough. And another difficult puzzle. Alright, so we're gonna open the door by hitting the switch behind the tombstone. And another boss. Good times. So unfortunately, I'm kind of paranoid of my pump voice here. So just in case it doesn't heal, I'm going to be using World Dues regardless. Alright, so this is going to be the last preparation for the final fight. Dragon Iron Fang, I believe? And that gives a plus 50 attack boost. Which is very nice, especially on Grizzly, who already does that kind of damage. I just love clouds. I can't help it. Alright. So this fight isn't too tough either. Widow can use Whale of Ice. And he doesn't really do that much damage. It's mostly just time based. Like I said before, this could be kind of bad for the final fight if my health poise doesn't heal. Let's hope that it follows orders. That was Mido. So he gives you the Limbo Key, which is where we do the final boss fight. That was his name, Limbo. So the last two fights in the game are the hardest fights in the game, unfortunately. These can go either really bad or kind of bad. Also bringing another holy water here because the monsters here, if you do get an encounter, it can be pretty horrible. And it's another reason why I bought 2 extra bookmarks.